everyone. Welcome to day 4 of my 28-day somatic journey. Yesterday, my friend Nicole joined me for class, and she's joining me again today. So if I go into coughing fit or anything, I fully apologize, but I am so dedicated in doing these full 28 days. I have way more energy today, which is a good thing. After yesterday's somatic practice, which was the enhanced arch and flatten and the somatic hamstring release, I felt really good. I felt a beautiful opening within my whole posterior part of my body. I had a little bit more energy from how I was feeling earlier. And today, what we're going to do is I'm going to focus on my entire spine, and then also hips and pelvis and hamstrings, all the way down to the feet, actually. So our 2 poses for today, our somatic movement flows, will be beads on a necklace, and then the other one are foot sliders. Foot sliders, I absolutely love foot sliders. And it almost sounds like those burger sliders, you know what I mean? Pork sliders, but it's not. It's our feet. So just give me a second here so I'm not as hoarse. There we go. So what we're going to start with actually is I'd like to start with the foot sliders. And the reason I want to start with the foot sliders is it's going to tap into my neck, my complete back, legs, feet, and toes. And it's one of those movements that I'm always excited to do because I just visually, not just physically feel the difference, but I visually can see the difference also. So I do have socks on. I am going to pull them off. So you have visual of my feet on this. Throw those out of the way. There we go. And we're going to start the practice, the pose, the flow, the SMF, seated with the feet touching the mat, knees are bent. And you'll notice after day 1, 2, and 3, I'm always doing pre-checks and post-checks. So the pre-check is that it's a check-in to what we're noticing where our mobility is before the movement. And then when we see at the end of the flow, the progression on growth, it's information for the brain. And it's giving that education information, that release, reprogramming. And you have that, like that scale to kind of work off of. Some days your growth, your mobility may grow a big, huge amount. There could be other days where it's just micro or macro. It may be micro and macro for quite a long time, depending on how tight and chronically tight and held the muscles are. So it's something that it's a gauge, like I said, scale, but also a gauge. So you know for yourself what the progression is. So here we go. All right. For foot sliders, like I said, you'll be coming seated on the sit bones. Feet are flat on the mat. And you're going to take your hands and just have them like a little bit of a anchoring point behind you. The pre-check is seeing where your mobility is within the neck in the seated position. So you're just going to tilt your head back to where it naturally stops without strain or pain or stretch. So this is where I'm at right now. And for me, I know you can't see my ceiling, but I'm just in front of, like, I have a vent above me. I'm more left to it, between that and a light. So that's my gauge and where I'm at. So what's really nice about these foot sliders, they don't just work on mobility of the neck. It's a nice release of the fascia, the chain from the top of the head all the way down to the heels and the toes. And you'll see, and you may feel the amazing success you can have with this. So we're going to start actually with the left foot because that's what's facing you guys. So I'm going to bring my feet in a little bit closer. And actually, I'm going to go in that pre-check one more time. This is what I wanted. I don't know why I did it the opposite way. This is where I look for my mobility. Seat it nice and straight, shoulders away from the ears, tip the head back, and yeah, I'm in around the same spot. And then come back. The hands come back for the flow. Just a major brain fart. It happens sometimes. So I'm going to bring my hands behind me as a little anchor. Now, if you notice on this movement, you have any foot cramps or toe cramps, it happens. It's your fascia is really tight, lymphatic system's bunged up. So it will ease after a while. Also, if that's happening, don't, because you'll see when I get into this, I don't want you to crunch the toes as much as you're doing. That means you're putting too much effort in it, okay? So here we go. Feet are flat. I'm going to make sure they are hip width apart. I'm going to slide my left foot out about 8 to 12 inches. Pause. Lift the left foot. Crunch the toes. Pause. Release the foot down. Slide it back in line with the right foot. Lift the toes. Pause. And relax the feet down, or the toes down. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Going to do 2 more. Slide the left foot forward about 8 to 12 inches away. Pause. Lift the foot, but the heel stays connected to the mat. Crunch the toes. Pause. Release the left foot down. The toes aren't crunching anymore. Slide the left foot back in line with right. Lift the toes. Pause. And release. Pause. One more time. Sliding forward. Pause. Lift. Crunch. Pause. Release the foot down. Slide it back. Lift the toes of the left foot. Pause. And release. So that's 3 rounds. I always like to start in 3s. So you'll notice in the first, this is day 4. I'm doing everything in 3s. You can add as many repetitions, maybe up to 5 or 6. Sometimes people like to do 7, but I like to work with 3s. Sometimes I'll do 4s. So now I'm going to go into a pose check just to see if anything improvement in my neck mobility, any progression, just with the one side. So I'm going to wrap my hands around my shins, lift up through my spine, tilt my head back. My eyes are closed first. I'm going to stop here. And I think I've got about 1 inch or 2 of growth here to where I was before. And release. We're going to move to the right side. So I'm having my little kickstand. Bring my feet in a little bit closer. And here I go. Right foot slides forward 8 to 12 inches away, whatever feels good here. Pause. Lift, leaving the heel connected like a pendulum. Crunch the toes. I think I meant pendulum. There's another word that starts with a P. I'll get there. Release the right foot. Slide my right foot back with control, nice and slow. Lift the toes. Pause. Release. 2 more times, sliding my foot forward. Pause. Lift, crunching my toes. Pause. Releasing my right foot back down to the ground and sliding back. Lifting my toes. Pause and release. One more. Sliding forward. Pause. Lifting with a crunch. Pause. Releasing. Sliding back. Lifting my toes. Pause. And release. See if there's any other improvement, even if it's just a little bit. Taking my hands, placing them on my shins, elongating my spine. Someone's gently pulling my scalp up to the ceiling like a puppet, and then tilting my head back. Oh, wow. I'm now to the other edge of my big vent AC unit here in the RV and come down. So I've gained at least 18 inches of view. Yeah, it's pretty significant for me. I'm going to extend my legs out for a moment. Another nice thing about these foot sliders, it helps release the hamstrings. It also helps with headaches, poor posture. It can help with parentheses, which is like that numbness and tingling in the fingers, sciatica, like stiff neck and back. Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, I'm going to move on to the next one. It's beads on a necklace. So you're going to make your way first onto your back, and we're going to do a little pre-check here. Okay, so as if you're coming down into, as we call it in Hatha, corpse pose, but you're just literally laying flat on your back. I'm actually going to remove my ponytail because I want to keep my neck in line with the rest of my spine. For some of us, there could be actually a natural tilt to the head here. And if you're noticing compression in the neck, just take a pillow or a block or something, and you can place it underneath the head, even a rolled up blanket, just to support the head so the neck is in line with the rest of your spine. So I'm just going to take a little check-in here on how everything's feeling. Arms are relaxed alongside the body. I'm going to check the opening underneath. I can actually slide both hands underneath the small of my back. I'm probably opened about a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch with a natural curvature of my spine. And now we're going to move into beads on a necklace. It's a beautiful SMF, somatic movement flow, to help with releasing the spine, getting mobility into the whole back and also into the shoulders and neck. So I'm going to bend my knees, feet flat on the floor, but I don't want to bring my ankles in line with my knees. I actually want to slide them a little bit further ahead. So we're creating this more like a pyramid shape of a triangle, not like remember our triangles from school? Isosceles, and there's a right angle triangle. I'm doing more of a pyramid here, okay? Arms are nice and flat on alongside the body. I want to keep my neck in line with the rest of the spine. I don't want to be turning right or left. And I'm just going to push my my skull into the mat. So I have a nice elongation to my back of my neck. I'm going to activate my feet into the ground and then slowly peel my coccyx up, slowly rolling up one vertebra at a time. And then turning my palms up, pushing my shoulder blades and my outer shoulders into the mat. And pause. I have that elongation of my neck. And then starting at the top of my spine, slowly releasing, just like beads of a necklace, slowly touching the mat, one vertebra at a time. Nice and slow release. Until everything lets go. What I noticed on that first round is I noticed I had a miscommunication at the beginning of my rounding up. So it looks like a bridge in like traditional hatha yoga when we're coming up, but I'm trying to connect each vertebra and feel the sensations for each vertebrae when I'm coming up and when I'm rolling down. So what happened is I noticed there was just a disconnect and my whole lumbar spine, sacral lumbar spine wanted to come up right away, not or as one, where I wasn't doing it one vertebra at a time. So I got a little bit of sensory motor amnesia in that area. So I'm just going to kind of play with it on round 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my time coming up and noticing if that happens again. If it does, I'm just going to kind of play around small micro movements at that point. So palms are down. I'm going to push my feet into the ground. Slowly tilt my pelvis. And then slowly tucking. So I'm tucking my tailbone under. Rolling up my sacral spine. There we go. Lumbar. I got some little bumps in there, so I'm just going to play here for a moment. I don't know if you can see it because I'm wearing black, but I'm just doing this little gentle movement from sacral to lumbar spine. There's bumps. Yeah, I definitely have some sensory motor amnesia in here. Now I'm going to continue with my beads coming up. There we go. One at a time, slowly rolling up. One vertebra at a time. Turning my palms up so I can feel my shoulder blades come in towards the spine and my shoulders are pushing on the mat. I'm giving a good elongation to my neck here. So it's almost like I'm tucking my chin in. And now I'm slowly going to release this. Palms down, feeling each vertebra connect one at a time. Here, there's that little, there we go. A little bit more control. Still a few little bumps. And release. I have one more, just one more. Here we go. Pushing my feet, tilting my pelvis first, feeling, and then slowly tucking my tailbone under, so the coccyx, slowly making my way sacral, lumbar. Oh, the bumps have disappeared. Yippee! Up one vertebra at a time. Turning my palms up, pushing my shoulders gently into the mat, lengthening my neck. And then releasing one at a time. Slowly, 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 slowly. I'm going to go into that post check, extending my legs. I feel more of an opening within my hips, my pelvis. I remember when I checked underneath my back, I had a little bit of an opening in the small of my back. I actually can't get my fingers connecting. Like for both hands, the first time I could slide them both underneath. So I have a release here in my spine, especially thoracic where it meets lumbar. So that's mid back, lower back where it meets. My neck actually feels more fluid. So just with those two SMFs, I feel this opening and lightness to my body. Feels really good. I'm just going to make my way up to seated. I always turn to my side and then come up. And the reason being because I do have the joint, like arthritis in my C-spine, cervical spine, and degenerative disc disease, plus the retrolithiasis. When you come sitting up, like a sit-up, from laying down and you have any neck issues, you're actually putting more strain on the neck. So if you turn to the side, knees bend and just gently push your way up, it's so much more gentle for your neck, and that strain isn't being engaged. Those muscles aren't being engaged. So that's our two poses for today, for day 4. If you have any questions or anything, you can shoot me a message, shoot me a comment. I appreciate my subscribers are growing, so that's fantastic. I notice the reason I can't live stream from my phone right now is because you have to be up to 100 subscribers to be able to do a mobile live stream. I can do it on my laptop, but I don't like my camera on there, so that's why I do it through my mobile, through my phone. So thanks again for all the love. Again, any questions or feedback, however you want to communicate with me. And you'll see me again tomorrow for day 5. Thanks so much, everyone, and have a fantastic day, fantastic week, fantastic month. See you.